Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? My name is Blitzwinger, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Custom Dinos for LEGO Jurassic World. Thank you so very much for checking out the previous episode. Thank you so very much for over 1,000 likes on that one. Let's go ahead and try to match that on today's episode. That would be absolutely awesome sauce. If we could hit 1,000 likes again, that'd be great. So, with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, of course, if you've never watched an episode of Custom Dinos, essentially what we do is we take ideas from, whether it be comics, film, and then we go to the Dino Customizer within LEGO Jurassic World and customize dinosaurs to be inspired by those designs. So as always, don't forget, if you have an idea for a dinosaur that you would like to share, you can definitely go ahead and use the comment section down below to do so. Plus, like for example, our very first dinosaur, which comes to us from Hayden Kelly, he sent in an idea of his own dino, which is a Deathstroke Raptor, which sounds pretty sweet. So let's go ahead and give that a go. So essentially, if you guys have your own dinosaurs that you'd like to share, don't forget, you can leave that in the comment section below as well. But what you need to do for that is to always remember, leave your dino DNA, and, which is this code right here, and additionally to that, make sure that there's no spell errors or anything like that. And last but certainly not least, don't forget to leave the name of the dinosaur. What type of dino is it specifically? So with that in mind, let us begin. The first design comes to us, as I mentioned before, from Hayden. And he sends in a really, hopefully cool Deathstroke Raptor, which sounds pretty promising. So let's give this one a look, shall we? All right, so we got AAA there. Then we go to GTC. Ooh, okay, interesting. I wonder if the color choice is, because when I think of Deathstroke, I'm always like, I guess it really depends on which version of Deathstroke you're going by, like the Teen Titans one or the comic book more traditional one, like the orange and bluish. So I guess it really depends on which one you're using, or maybe you're going off of the one that was on Arrow. I mean, there's like lots and lots and lots of different iterations that you can look to. So in that sense, I guess we'll find out in just a moment which one he went for. TGC, and then last but certainly not least, we have G, and G. Triple good game. All right, interesting choices. Red, black, and yellow. I'm trying to remember, which Deathstroke had the yellow and red? I cannot recall, unless if I'm misremembering, but Deathstroke, no, I know who Deathstroke is, so I don't know. Weird. Well, okay, look, to each his own. Everybody has their own notions and their own ideas for dinos and such, so thank you so very much for your submission, my friend, and we'll check it out in the open. We'll see how it actually looks, and hopefully it turns out quite cool. Then we had two other, of course, dinos that we're actually going to assemble ourselves. So let's get to it. We're going to kick things off with a very, very small, tiny little dinosaur as we go to the compo, or the compy, and we will be customizing a Minion-inspired dino. Because a lot of you guys were like, hey, make the Minions dinosaur. There was a couple of different dinosaur kind of choices for it. Like, some people said, hey, do a Minion as a raptor. Or I think the other one was, I'm pretty sure it was the Gallimimus. But I feel like those are too big. Like, the Minions, they're relatively small. So because of that, I feel like the compy is more fitting. If not the compy, I would probably say the Trodoon is the second most fitting in terms of height. But we just used the Trodoon last time, so I just want to go ahead and customize a compy instead. So, with that in mind, let's take a look, shall we? All right, so we need to have a mostly kind of smooth head because they don't really have a lot of, like, you know, like protrusions or anything like that. So I think, no, actually that wouldn't work. I think this is probably, I'm not sure. Yeah, this one right there. I'm trying to figure out which one is probably the best. We could go with a T-Rex head. That could be kind of fun, right? The Velociraptor T-Rex. Let's see. T-Rex has that little extra nostril sculpture, which almost works like the giant eyeballs that they have. So we'll go with that. Then we go to the torso design, where we could either, again, keep it all predominantly smooth, or we could add this little spiky look, but again, it's not really all that accurate. I think this could actually work, though, the Spinosaurus, because it kind of makes them look a little bit more bulky, and most of them are a little bit on the bulkier side, so I think that works. And then for the tail, we probably, yeah, we're going to go with just the regular compy tail. So now we get to the coloring side of things, and I think we actually have the correct color right off the bat. I think this yellow should work quite well for our design. Now, for the rest of the design though, I know that they usually wear like a bluish Gru attire, so we could go with something like this for almost like the attire that they would wear. That looks really cool, by the way. And then a light blue for the rest of the attire, or maybe even a black. Ooh, that looks pretty cool, but let's see. What happens if we go with this blue again? That's interesting, actually. I really like the way that that looks, to be honest. That looks really, really neat. Like, that just looks super duper unique and cool. What if we use a very light blue, though, or at least a lighter shade of blue? A couple of variations here, almost like grayish blue. I think, I gotta say, I think that I really like either the dark... The black looks really cool too, but I don't feel like black fits in with the color choices or the characters much. So we'll go with this dark blue because I think it works really, really well and looks super cool. I really like the print that we have right now, which I think is this one right here, the draft print. So we're probably going to go with it, but let's just check what the other ones look like. So there's the cow print, there's the default print, which looks a little bit too plain and kind of a bit boring. Giraffe print is the best in my opinion. Leopard print looks kind of neat. Polka dots is all right. Speckled dot is actually not too bad. That's a pretty good contender. The stars is all right. And the tiger stripes actually does look kind of neat as well, but it almost looks like the Minions where they go crazy and they turn purple and stuff, whereas this one I think fits a little bit better. So we'll go with that. There's the DNA code for our Minion-inspired compy. Hope you guys enjoyed that assembly there. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the final assembly of the day, as we will be building a custom T-Rex. So here we are. Wow, that is a really, really cool design there. So we are building a Doomsday inspired T-Rex. That's why I kind of paused until the horns spawned in, because of course if you've ever seen Doomsday, he's covered in these like spikes that are like protruding through his skin and everything. So this is obviously going to be a very kind of massive creature that we need to build, and it needs to have a whole bunch of like weapons and stuff like that. So this is actually not bad because we have those like spikes on his back. I wonder, would this look better though? I gotta say, I think this might be a better choice. But you know what? We'll try both. We'll start with this, and then we'll see how it actually looks. And then for the tail, I think... well, that one looks good too. But the problem is, it's almost like that one looks better for most of the tail, but the tip doesn't work. Whereas this one looks great for the tip, but the rest of the tail is not particularly great. So we'll try this again, and we could switch it up after we get the colors right. So then we get to the coloring section. Now, for Doomsday at first, I was like, okay, well, we're going to make him basically all gray and then white for, like, the spikes and stuff, which they are, because they're obviously, like, bones and everything like that. But I thought to myself, but he usually also wears, like, green shorts type thing as well. So I feel like we should have a little bit of green in there just for... to spice things up, because I think if it's all gray, it's going to be a little bit boring and too dull. So that's why I think we're going to go with that as well. So we'll see here in just a moment. All right, so we could go with 2 different shades of gray as well, which actually wouldn't be too bad of an idea, really. I think we'll go with the darker gray for the bottom, because that part would be darker as it is, just due to the shadow and everything, just naturally the way the light will fall. Plus, you got to remember that that gray is going to look way brighter once we actually get it out onto the sun within the game. So, ooh. All right. I actually really like the way that that one looks there. Let's see. Maybe this bluish gray, though. Ooh, that looks really cool, too. The only thing I'm concerned about is that I don't particularly care for that green, the way that that looks. Let's see if we can get a different pattern. Possibly, maybe that could work, but I don't even know if that would work. Ooh, that kind of looks cool, actually. I really like. I don't know why I think this looks really neat though, like with the green like that. The only thing is that then we have a lot of green suddenly. So this is probably the least amount of green that we could have on him there. We could use a different shade of green. Maybe that would work somewhat better, but I feel like that's even worse. That's way worse. Yeah, I feel like that dark green works the best, honestly. Let me just go back real quick, just see what it would look like if we went with the light gray. Ooh, okay, I really like that. That looks really nice, actually. What we could do is, I don't know if this would work. We could try to change these up. So like go dark green for the top. And then that kind of works, but it actually does look really cool, to be honest. I really like that. Ooh, the only thing is I wish that the shell wouldn't turn green, because that just it's a little too much. But it could also work a little bit almost as though that is like the pants or whatever. So that's so tough. I'm not sure which one I like better. I really am not. It's really, really tough to decide, man. This is kind of crazy. I really didn't expect for Doomsday to be such a difficult character to design. Yeah, I think this one looks a little bit better, honestly, because it also is a bit more appropriate for the character and just fits better. Whoa, what was that? All right, I just cycled through colors by mistake. There we go. So, we're going to stick with the giraffe print. I think that's the best of the bunch. One thing that we are going to test, though, is just changing the torso, remember? Just to see which one looks better. Yeah, we're going to stick with the Ankylo. I think it fits better color-wise. And then for the tail, we did want to try out this one as well. Ooh, that might actually be better. Let's see. Can we zoom out a bit? Whoops. Okay, can we take a look at it now? How does that look? All right. I kind of like this one better, to be honest. I think it looks a little bit nicer. I mean, I don't know. Maybe... Yeah, I think it looks better. I think it just looks cooler. So, we're going to stick with that. I forgot to show you the Dino DNA before we leave, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. There's the Dino DNA for our Doomsday-inspired dinosaur, who is, of course, actually going to be appearing in, well, spoiler alert, Batman vs. Superman, if you didn't see the trailer. If you've seen the trailer, you know that obviously he's appearing there. All right, so let's go ahead and teleport on in to the summoning point. By the way, I forgot to mention, I am playing as just Supervisor Nick, because these guys never get any credit. Nobody ever wants to play as just the Supervisor character. Everybody just always wants to play as the really, really cool, like Owen Grady and Claire and all the main characters. But nobody ever cares about Supervisor Nick. Look at him. He's so excited, he's out of breath. That's how excited he is about the whole task. All right, so let's go ahead and roam our way over to the Dino summoning point, because we are obviously going to need to use it. Not for... Well, actually, we're only going to need to use it for one thing, and that's the Doomsday Dino that we spawn in just a moment. So, I guess, you know what? We could actually start things off right here, right away. So, let's just go to our character selection, and... here we go. So, here is the custom Deathstroke Raptor, and... wow, does this thing look really cool out here. Man, I really love the way that jaw looks on this Raptor. Look at that. I think that's the T-Rex jaw, by the way. That looks really cool. Well, that guy just yelled up a storm. That was really, really awesome. Man. Yeah, you definitely don't want to mess with him. He looks super duper really neat. Really, really great design, Hayden. Thank you so very much for your submission. Of course, if you have a dino like this and you'd like to share it and go ahead and potentially see your own custom idea on an upcoming episode of Custom Dinos, you can go ahead and leave the Dino DNA in the comments section below. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and spawn in our little compy, which is our Minion-inspired compy. Of course, he is wearing a lot of blue because, well, the main reason why he's wearing all that blue... By the way, check this out. Wait. That's adorable. So there's our little compy right there. That's the Minion there. And I think he's a really, really perfect choice for a Minion size. Because look, there it is, like comparing a Minion to a full-grown adult. That's a really, really good size comparison right there. So I think that this was a really, really good choice, all things considered. And now, ladies and gents, it is time to spawn in Doomsday Asasaurus. Doomsday Asasaurus. That's just a new name that I just came up with. All right, so custom T-Rex, come on down. Whoa. All right, yeah, you definitely don't want to mess with him. And check this out right here. Whoa, charge through the walls. The doors couldn't even close quickly enough. We were too fast for them. We were simply too quick. Look at this. This is awesome. Yikes. Well, it's kind of weird because, you know, you always think of the color gray as being very boring and just kind of uneventful, but it's just interesting how when you put it on a giant T-Rex, it still becomes quite cool and quite neat. And I think that the choice of adding all this green is really great because I feel like if we just went with all different shades of gray, it would have been a little bit too boring, whereas this just has the nice balance of adding a little bit of extra colors to the whole ordeal. So with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of Custom Dinos. Of course, if you did, please don't forget to leave a like, and I will catch you guys next week with another Custom Dinos video. Peace out, guys, and I'll see you later. Alligators, scratchy scratch.